So what's the cost of living in Naples, Florida like in 2025? So as more and more people keep moving to Southwest Florida from all over the country, that's the question many people have. So here I am, and in this video, we're going to explore the cost of living in Naples as of 2025 to determine whether this paradise is worth all the hype. Here we go. Hi there, I'm Diane Harris, your local lifestyle and luxury property specialist right here in Naples, Florida. And on this channel, I cover everything about living in Naples and Southwest Florida. And today, I'm diving deep into what it really costs to live in our beautiful city in 2025. So whether you're considering making Naples your permanent home or looking for that perfect vacation property, understanding the cost of living in Naples, Florida is crucial to making an informed decision before you actually relocate here. So let me begin with the most important thing, housing, the housing market and home costs. So when we talk about the 2025 Naples, Florida housing costs, we're looking at a market that continues to be attractive, but has shifted somewhat in the buyer's favor. So according to the latest data from February 2025, the median home sold price in Naples, according to the Naples Area Board of Realtors, MLS, sits at $650,000, which represents a 4% increase from the previous year. And according to my previous video where I talk about the cost of living in Naples, which was earlier, it was actually around $399,000, and that was almost 3 years ago. So it's almost twice the price 3 years later, which gives you a really clear indication that you should make your move in investing in Naples, Florida real estate as soon as possible, because based on the Federal Housing Finance Agency, the home prices over the past 20 years in Naples and Marco Island have averaged a 6.3% increase annually. Now, I certainly wouldn't want to rush you at all, but it is important to know that prices in Naples remain stable and continue to slowly rise as we speak. So time is kind of the essence here. So what's interesting about your current market is that while it's technically classified as a buyer's market, prices haven't dropped significantly. They've just stabilized compared to the wild appreciation that we saw a few years ago, fueled by COVID. So breaking down housing costs by bedroom count gives us a little more insight. So as of February 2025, a two-bedroom home averaged around $400,000, that's up 2.3%, and three-bedroom homes hover around $700,000. With the minimal change from 2024. So for the luxury segment, four-bedroom homes are selling approximately $1.5 million, and that's up just over 8% from a year ago. So this last figure really highlights how the luxury market in Naples continues to thrive even as the broader market stabilizes. So what's particularly notable about Naples, Florida real estate market in 2025 is the change in days on market. Homes are now typically selling after about 92 days, which is longer than the 61 days we saw in January 2024. And for perspective, it's important to note that in our last normal market, which was pre-COVID, February 2019, the average days on market were about 101. So this gives buyers more time to make decisions rather than feeling pressed to make offers immediately. So with just under 7,000 homes for sale in January 2025 and only about 560 sold that month, that's up from 492 a year prior. We're definitely in a phase where inventory has increased and buyers have many more options to choose from. So next, let's look at another important aspect, food and grocery costs. So understanding Naples, Florida living expenses means looking at everyday costs like groceries and food. So in 2025, the cost of groceries, according to mylifeelsewhere.com, in Naples is 20% higher than the national average, which isn't surprising given our location and the premium nature of many of our stores. And that's about 3% higher than it was 3 years ago in my prior video, when cost of groceries was about 17% higher than the national average. A gallon of milk costs around $4.49, while a pound of fresh white bread runs about $3.60. So for protein, you're looking at around $4.71 per pound for chicken fillets and about $7.27 per pound for beef. So when I'm shopping at our local Publix, Seed to Table, Fresh Market, or Whole Foods, I'm usually budgeting around $7 to $9 per pound for decent cuts of meat. Though of course you can find both higher and lower price points depending on where you shop. So many of my clients are pleasantly surprised to find that while produce can be expensive at times, we do have access to fantastic farmers markets where you can get fresh, locally grown fruits and vegetables at very reasonable prices. And so for a single person, the minimum recommended monthly food budget in Naples is right around $458, which can certainly increase if you prefer organic options or specialty foods. For couples, you're looking at $800 to $900 monthly for groceries, not including dining out. Speaking of which, Naples is known for its exceptional restaurants and that quality comes with a price. A decent dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant typically costs between $80 to $120, while our fine dining establishments can easily run $200 on up for a special night, and that doesn't include wine or cocktails. So what I find interesting about food costs in Naples is how seasonal they can be. During our peak tourist season, which is roughly November through April, prices at restaurants tend to increase due to demand, while in the summer months, you'll find more specials and lots of deals as establishments compete for the business of the year-round residents. So now we have another basic but important cost that you need to know about: utility costs. So the Naples, Florida Cost of Living Guide would not be complete without addressing utilities, which can play a significant role in monthly expenses. Here in Southwest Florida, as of October 2024, with rates still currently in the early 2025, water, reclaimed water, sewer, garbage, all those rates increased about 4.5%, while stormwater rates saw a more substantial increase of 40%. So for single-family homes, the bi-monthly bill typically includes garbage collection. It's about $38.30. Horticulture collection and disposal is about $12.40. Recycling collection, disposal, $8.76. And Collier County disposal fees are about $15.60. That totals about $75 every 2 months. So electricity costs in Naples can vary significantly by season due to our climate. So during our hot summer months, which are typically, June through October, that's when air conditioning runs almost constantly. So a 2,000 square foot home might see electric bills ranging from $250 to $350 per month. Now in the milder winter months, those same homes might only require $100 to $180 for electricity. So seasonal fluctuation is something that many newcomers don't really anticipate, especially if you're used to higher heating costs in the northern states during the winter. So internet and cable packages in Naples, typically $80 to $100 a monthly for basic service. Premium packages can get anywhere from $150 to $200 plus. Many of my clients who are tech savvy have been cutting the cord and opting for streaming services instead, which can reduce these costs considerably. Cell phone service is generally good throughout the Naples area, and all the major carriers provide coverage here, although we still have a few spots, particularly around some of the beaches or Golden Gate estates, where signals can be a little spotty. For natural gas, most homes in Naples don't have access to it. Electric appliances are far more common here. However, for those few properties with gas service, you're looking at relatively minimal costs compared to electric. Water usage can also vary dramatically depending on whether you're maintaining a big, lush tropical landscape, or it might be included in your HOA fees, with irrigation sometimes adding $50 to $100 to a monthly water bill during dry periods, which would be our winter. And so when you're talking about taxes and insurance, when analyzing Naples, Florida cost of living versus national average, taxes and insurance stand out as significant factors. So property taxes in Naples did increase slightly for the 2024 to 2025 fiscal year, with the millage rate rising from 1.17 to 1.23. To put this in perspective, for a property with taxable value of $1 million, this equates to about $60 more per year. So property taxes in Collier County average a little less than 1% of the home assessed value. Lee County is a little higher at 1.23%. While Florida doesn't have a state income tax, which is a major draw for many of my clients relocating from high tax states like New York, New Jersey, or California, we do have a 6% sales tax in Collier County. However, the real financial consideration for many prospective homeowners isn't taxes, it's insurance. Homeowners insurance in Florida has been a challenging issue, and Naples is no exception. So the average annual premium for homeowners in Florida reached about $10,996 in 2023 and was projected to rise by an additional 7% to $11,759 by the end of 2024. So based on trends we're seeing in early 2025, the costs have continued to climb, though not as dramatically as in previous years. So insurance cost varies dramatically based on location, age of the roof, the amount of storm protection or other types of protection in place, and the amount of the deductible. So the reality is a homeowner's insurance policy can cost, both for a condo or a single family home, anywhere from $300 to $20,000 or more. However, there are a lot of ways to lower your home insurance costs, and we go over all of those in another video that I have, Hidden Costs of Home Ownership. So beyond standard homeowners insurance, flood insurance is a separate policy that many Naples homeowners need. And so depending on their location, really, flood policies can range anywhere from $700 to $3,000 annually, that can be considerably higher based on the flood zone designation and elevation of the home. So vehicle registration in Florida is relatively reasonable compared to many states. So for a new vehicle registration, expect to pay around $225 for the initial registration and then $70 to $100 for annual renewals. So depending on the weight of and that all kind of depends on the weight of your vehicle. Florida doesn't have a vehicle property tax like some states do, which is a pleasant surprise for many of my people relocating from places like Virginia or North Carolina. So what about entertainment and recreation? So one area where the 2025 Naples Florida Cost of Living Index might not fully capture value is in the entertainment and recreation area. So Naples offers an abundance of natural beauty and outdoor activities that can be enjoyed for a minimal cost. Our white sand beaches are accessible via numerous public access points, though parking at the beach locations are typically about $10 per day for non-residents, and they're free for those with a Collier County sticker. So golf is a major draw for many of my customers, and costs talk about varying dramatically. Naples has over 90 golf courses ranging from public courses where you can play from $50 to $100 during the off-peak times to exclusive private clubs where initiation fees exceed well over $100,000 to $300,000 plus. And they may have annual dues of $15,000 to $25,000 or more. The sweet spot for many recreational golfers seems to be the semi-private clubs with annual memberships around $5,000 to $10,000. But boating is another popular activity in Naples with costs that span a wide range. So for those who own boats, annual slip fees at marinas, they can range from $15 to $25 per foot per month, meaning a 25-foot boat might cost $375 to $625 monthly just for the storage. Many part-time residents opt for boat clubs instead. I'm a member, love it. And those memberships can run $4,000 to $6,000 annually, plus some of your fees for gas and all of that fun stuff. But the fun part about a boat club is it gives you access to a fleet of boats without all the maintenance headaches. So cultural activities in Naples have continued to thrive with tickets to performances at RT's Naples, which is the home of the Naples Philharmonic Orchestra and Baker Museum. They can range $50 to $150 depending on the performance and the seating. Gulf Shore Playhouse is another fantastic venue of ours that is brand new. They just built the new building and it's amazing. That brings in some wonderful performances from the Naples players. Naples also offers numerous art galleries, most with free admission with tempting works of art. So, when you could purchase something that fits into any variety of budgets out here. So regarding dining out, which doubles as both sustenance and entertainment in our foodie-friendly town, that can range from casual beachside spots where you might spend $15 to $20 per person to elegant fine dining establishments where it's $100 to $150 per person before the wine. That's not uncommon. Many restaurants offer happy hour specials, particularly during the summer months, and it provides opportunities to experience Naples' culinary scene at a little more accessible price point. And finally, let's look at the transportation cost. So in evaluating how expensive Naples, Florida is, the transportation costs also need to be factored in. So unlike major metropolitan areas, Naples doesn't have extensive public transportation, although we have it with CAT, it's the Collier Area Transit. And that bus system fares are about $2 per ride or $3 for an all-day pass. Most residents and visitors rely on personal vehicles, ride shares, or bicycles to get around down here, and e-bikes. But gas prices in Naples as of February 2025 are hovering around $3.45 to $3.60 per gallon, which is slightly above the national average, but not dramatically so. For those maintaining vehicles in Naples, basic maintenance costs are comparable to other parts of the country, with standard oil changes running about $50 to $80 depending on the vehicle's requirements. So something many newcomers appreciate is the absence of toll roads in the immediate Naples area, though you will encounter them when traveling to other parts of Florida like Miami or Tampa. So the nearest toll road is Alligator Alley or I-75 if you're heading east across the state. Rideshare services like Uber and Lyft are readily available throughout Naples, with a typical ride from downtown to the airport costing around $75 to $100 depending on the time of day and the demand. Many of my customers who own vacation properties here find that they can comfortably get by with minimal car usage during their stays if their homes are in walkable areas like downtown Naples, Venetian Village, Mercado, or they're just close to their preferred amenities. So what's particularly appealing about Naples transportation is the relatively light traffic compared to many Florida cities, especially during non-season months. So even during peak season, typical commutes within Naples rarely exceed 30 minutes, though specific corridors like 41 can become congested during rush hour and prime tourist periods. So there you go. Now you know it's more than clear that this coastal paradise comes with a premium price tag in many categories, and that includes housing and insurance. But however, having said that, if your priority is more towards experiencing exceptional quality of life, perfect winter weather, beautiful serene beaches, and an abundance of recreational opportunities, the value equation often makes sense despite the cost. So the decision to purchase a home in Naples should be considered in the context of your overall financial picture, your lifestyle preferences, and how much time you plan to spend here. So for many of my customers who are fleeing high tax states, the absence of state income tax helps offset some of the higher costs in other categories. So if you're considering making Naples your move or second home in 2025, I'd love to discuss your specific needs and real estate goals and help you navigate the current market conditions. And remember, while the cost of living in Naples, Florida might be a little higher than the national average in some categories, the lifestyle return on that investment is what continues to attract people to our slice of paradise. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful in learning about the cost of living in Naples, Florida in 2025. If you enjoyed this video and want to know more about real estate and the real estate market here in Southwest Florida and Naples, I have a bunch of videos and a playlist. You can click on the box on the screen. Also, check out the description for more relevant videos, and to connect with me, my contact info is in the description box. Remember to subscribe, follow me on those socials, and hit that little icon bell thing. And please comment below if you have any questions or ideas for future videos. Thanks again for watching. I'm Diane Harris. I hope this video helped you love the way you live Naples, and I hope to see you in the next video.